Thank you for being on. It is 1:20 here in Chicago. So I want to really just be a little bit grateful for all of you because you're here right now. And especially considering what's going on in the world, I think it's massively, massively important to be aware of what's here for you, right? To absolutely take control of your time, right, your money, and your economy. So that's really what we're going to be talking about today is how to really take advantage of any situation that you could ever be in, utilizing the markets and making money on the way up, making money on the way down, right? Really pretty much take control of how the banks make money. If you're not aware, right, the banks use your money that you have in your bank account. They use that money, trade it in this market, and then, well, make a lot of profits. And I don't know how much you've made in the last 10 years with your bank account, but I personally, they're not paying me very much, right? And so what I want to do is I want to give you back the power that these banks have not taken away from you, but having given you the exposure, right? And so my name is Mike Navarrete, and today I'm here to educate you alongside one of my business partners who's also been my mentor for the last 4 years. So we're going to just really allow you to understand more about the markets, understand more about just different kind of income sources and how to be more aware and how to not just have knowledge, but to know how to apply that knowledge to our current life, right? So guys, with that being said, I've been trading for 4 years. I've been professionally educating for over 2.5 years in a $250 million platform for over 100,000 students in multiple languages. And so I am absolutely honored and just honestly humbled to be here to share a little bit of information with you all. And so I want to just make it very simple because the foreign exchange market is something that isn't very commonly taught. But on the contrary, is the largest market out there. So this is something that does move $6 to $7 trillion every single day, right? Every single day, and something so massive. How come you are not exposed to this, right? I went to school for finance for 4 years, and I went and I worked with the Air Force for a couple of years, and I worked in the finance department there. And in neither of those educational sources did I ever really learn about this. So for me, it's very important for everyone to understand what you actually have available to you, because now we have tools and resources like our phones and our laptops and our tablets. And I think it's massively important to just us take advantage of that, right? And so the foreign exchange market, what is it? How do you use it? Why is it that you can make money off of this? So I'm going to give you a pretty quick example of how that works, right? If you've ever traveled internationally, or if you just have family in other countries, you may know that there's different currencies all over the world, right? And so let's say we take a little field trip right now and we go out to Mexico, right? In Mexico at the moment, right, $1 is 24 pesos. So if we go there and I exchange $1, they're going to give me 24 pesos. But next week, that price, that exchange rate, that could be entirely different. It could go up to 25, it could go down to 22. And so how I want you to really think about it is like this. If we do a little exchange right now and we go there with $100, they'll give us, 2,400 pesos. So if we do this exchange and then a week later we come back, all right, here, I have my 2,400 pesos. I'd like my $100 back. They're going to stop and be like, hey, wait, hold on a second. First, we have to look at the price. Did it go up or did it go down? And based on what happened there, you're going to know, okay, well, am I going to get $105 back? Am I going to get 100 back again? Am I going to get 95 back? So it's really based on which direction is the market moving, which is why this is actually incredible, because unlike the stock market, here you can make money up and down. And it's very simple. Using an app on your phone called MetaTrader 4 or 5, if you hit the red button, which is the sell button, and then the price goes down, you actually profit depending on how much it goes down. And what's incredible as well is that you have absolutely total control of what you're risking and how much you could potentially make. This is something that allows you to have that flexibility, because when I got started learning with this, I was working at Red Bull, bartending, and really just focused on getting my money right. And I knew that there was really no excuse now for me to learn this, because it was available to me 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. So as soon as Sunday 4 p.m. opens and then Friday 4 p.m. hits, in that time I could trade, right? And so whether it's 2 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon, you could be profiting in the market. So because this is something that you're always in control of, you don't have to have your face on the screen or on your phone, right? You could be doing other things that you actually want to do. And so to branch off of that, I think it's important for us to really conceptualize what is it that we've been doing this whole time? Because for me, I started working when I was 15, and up until I was 21 at that point, I still didn't really have much money. You know, it's like, how have I been working 6, 7 years, but I still only have $200 in my bank account? And so with that being said, I realized that everything I was doing was based on what I knew, right? And my parents come from, El Salvador's, and I have, kind of humble beginnings. Grew up splitting a basement with another family, but I saw them really put in work and work and work and work and work, right? 60, 70, 80-hour weeks, my whole life, right? So all I knew was that. I knew the grind. I knew the work. That's what I always heard was go to a good school to get a good job. Cool. My educational source, it didn't explain to me, develop skills to gain income sources. It was always school work. And so once I realized, right, once I realized that we could do things a little differently, there's actually other ways, in my relationship with my money, my relationship with my time, wasn't where it really could be because I wasn't really exposed to it. And it wasn't until one of my best friends and my business partner, my mentor, right, until he kind of exposed me to a different way of thinking. Now, this is someone that when I was looking into this, right, when I was exposed to this, he was already making 6 figures as an accountant. He already got his master's degree. He was already doing well. And so when he introduced me to what this was, I was actually confused on why he was even doing this. If at 21, you're already making 6 figures, I thought he was good. I thought like, wow, he's living the good life. But I didn't realize that you can have time or you can have money, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have time or you have fulfillment, right? Happiness, which is more important. And so I started to really think and see the world a little bit differently. And he started introducing me to a couple of different books. One that I think everyone should read. If you're going to get anything out of this call, get this book. And it's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And so he introduced me to kind of different ways of thinking about money and time and the way my relationship is with it. And so this is someone who right now, let's fast forward 3.5, 4 years. It has been able to really duplicate traders all over the world, open up multiple businesses, and have other people do the same thing. Someone who is really, he's that person that when it's 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and you got life happening, like he's gonna pick up the phone. I remember him. He used to drive us out like hours to just go get the right help from the right people. Always hopping on these webinars and teaching me when I was just getting started. So I'm actually gonna have him walk you guys through, a little bit more on what else is there out there. How is it that maybe I have been learned or taught a little bit differently since the beginning. So with that being said, guys, please take notes, because this information, it's simple, but it can be paradigm shifting. So with that being said, Tim Slomo, take it away, brother.
Perfect, Mike. Thank you so much. I'm super glad this is recorded because this is such valuable information. This is something that you're going to really, really want to go back and re-listen to. I look at an individual like Mike, and it's crazy to me because, you have someone who is so young and really took this and ran off with it. By 24 years old, he became the 5th most viewed educator of our $250 million educational company. He's been on TV in Colombia, like their Good Morning in Colombia, whatever. He's been on the radio in Spain. I mean, the things he's done for his family, I'm not going to go into it because, I'm not going to guarantee that you're just going to go buy your family 2 houses, travel around the world, go to like 15, 16 different countries. Like, I can't really say that. But what I am saying is the man's done a lot of amazing things in such a short period of time. And so to be able to partner with him and be able to give people access to that mentorship is huge. It really makes the learning process so simple. And I love how Mike and I's backgrounds are a little bit different. He talked about how he grew up in a basement with another family, and he was able to see hard work. And in my situation, I was able to see hard work, but understanding how business is done a little bit differently. I grew up around money. My family owns an extremely successful accounting firm. You know, I went to college for finance, got my master's in organizational leadership. I played collegiate soccer. I traveled around the world and did ministry. I built up a resume of, you know, really, how do I say this? Like a golden road, right? What is the golden road to get yourself into a position to be financially successful the rest of your life? And that's what I did. I mean, I literally was kind of groomed to be able to take over big companies and be able to work with high profile people. I mean, my master specifically was working with C-class executives and helping them really become better C-class executives. And so it was really amazing to me how two different forms of hard work can lead to the same place, but how quickly can you cut that curve? How quickly can you do things? How can you actually leverage things? I remember when I was 14, 15 years old, I started to realize the difference between, you know, someone who's an employee and someone who's a business owner and investor. I started to see that the W-2 employee was really getting screwed over year after year, and the business owners were the ones that were able to move their wealth through tax manipulation, or, you know, use their money in order to make more money while they're sleeping, or use their investments to open up other businesses. And so at a young age, I was very keen and interested in how this all works. And by the way, guys, just because I had this background doesn't mean that I grew up understanding the foreign exchange market. I didn't know what cryptocurrencies were. When I got introduced to this in the middle of 2015, I said, there's no freaking way you can make money off your phone, right? I just wasn't open to the idea. I was extremely skeptical. It's funny because it was my mom, who's very high up at JP Morgan Chase, said, you need to do this. You need to go check this out, because the traders that we have at the bank, they're the ones who are making the most money. They're the ones who are moving our money that's just sitting in JP Morgan Chase. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, well, the bank makes money off you. And me being the competitive person I am, I was like, how do I do what they're doing? Well, like, we got to learn. I'm like, well, duh, that's an obvious answer here. But I was like, how? And so I went on the internet. I was paying for all these courses. You know, my first course was $1,500. I mean, people would charge up to $1,000 an hour just for mentorship, hundreds of dollars a month for just signals, so you can copy and paste them in your phone. You're not even learning at that point. And my first 9 months was just absolutely awful, right? It wasn't until I was introduced to this company called I Am Mastery Academy in November of 2016 where I was really able to take that leap of faith and go all in. You know, I'm 25 years old. I haven't worked a job since June of 2017. When I walked across that stage with my master's degree in my hand, the degree meant nothing to me because I've been able to build an international business in over a dozen countries, helping hundreds of people learn this skill set, working with individuals like Mike and individuals that have invited you to watch this call, whether it's live or recorded, it doesn't matter, to really make an impact. And it's so cool to me how we've been able to do this, especially with what's happening around the world. You know, I was in Europe for 5 weeks. I just got back from New York. No, I'm not sick. I'm not infected, right? But I've been traveling around the world the past couple of months, and then my income wasn't infected. Then you have COVID-19 happens. My income is still not infected because I have a skill set. It doesn't matter if I'm laying in bed at work or sitting on the toilet, I can make money. I have a business where it doesn't matter what's happening around the world, I can make money. And so we really have to understand here what's happening around us, what have we been told, and why are we not doing what the successful people are doing? And so really what I want to do for you guys is break down what the cash flow quadrant is. Mike brought that up. This has nothing to do with, you know, day trading or cryptocurrencies, but I believe that if you can understand the cash flow quadrant, I'm going to spend some time here. If you can understand this concept, you can really run with this information and make something happen in your life. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. We're going to jump right into this. I'm going to break this down. So I hope you guys can see it. Let me see a couple ones in the chat if you guys are able to see my screen. And this was created by a gentleman named Robert Kiyosaki. He's one of the most successful financial literacy authors in the world. One of my favorite books he wrote, one of his most famous books, is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he also has another book just speaking specifically on these four quadrants here, right? You have employees, the self-employed individuals, business owners, and investors. On the left side of the quadrant, you have individuals who earn something called linear income. On the right side of the quadrant, you have individuals that earn leveraged residual or passive income. So I'm going to start with the left side first, break it all down, and then educate you on why we need to shift over to the right side of the quadrant. And the first quadrant is someone that's an employee, right? You have a job, right? You go in, you clock in, you work at Walmart, Home Depot, you're a receptionist, or you work at a gym, whatever it may be, but you have to invest time to make money. That is linear income. I am not making money now. If I work at, say I work at Planet Fitness and the gym is closed, I'm currently not making money because my income is determined about the time invested into that business, into that company, into that job site. Now, I'm not against jobs. I'm not anti-job. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm not hating on people that have jobs. People need to work. The world does not function if there's no employees. Why do you think we celebrate job growth so much? Because it boosts our economy. It helps everyone when everyone's able to work. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, I'm not anti-job. I just don't think jobs are for me. Statistically, they don't make sense. They just don't make sense. And here's some numbers for you. I'm a numbers guy. And by the way, I'm very blunt. I'm very transparent. I'm very to the point. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to entice you. I'm here to tell you the truth because I feel like the truth isn't told enough. And when the truth is told, people can really go out there and make decisions for themselves. And so statistically, right, go look this up yourself. You do not have to believe me. Prudential states that 1 in 3 people in the United States will never retire. 1 in 3, 33%. The other 66% of people in the United States, 90% of them will live on some type of government assistance or family assistance, meaning they'll need help, with some of their bills, they'll move back in with their kids, whatever it may be, right? They are looking for some type of assistance. There is such a small percentage of employees who are actually financially stable after the age of 65 because you've been working for literally 40 hours a week for 40 years of your life to live off 40% of the pay that wasn't enough in the first place. Because the millennials on this call, you know what you need? You need $2.5 million to retire, but the average American doesn't make their first million until they're 150 years old. 2 issues here. We don't live till we're 150, number one. And number two, that's still not 2.5 million. Because if the average millennial is making $22,000 to $27,000 a year, the average college grad is making 35, the average post-grad, which means master's, is making 45, and the average household is making anywhere between $52,000 to $55,000 a year after your expenses, is that totaling $2.5 million at the end of 40 years? It's not. But you're like, Tim, well, I'm putting money into my 401k every single year. Did you know the average 401k does 0.5% of growth per year? The 401k is one of the biggest scams that we've ever been told is one of the best things that could ever happen to us. I will never let my family have a 401k. It is the silliest thing that you can ever invest into. So like I said, I'm not anti-job. I don't think it's going to take care of you and your family. I hope you guys get what I'm saying here. So let's move on. I just wanted to drop some facts here to really shift your paradigm on why something needs to be done in your life, on why something needs to be done in a majority of Americans' lives. People around the world, abroad, it doesn't matter. Now you have the self-employed person. This person owns the job. Chiropractors, photographers, masseuses, doctors, lawyers, whomever, they get paid more. The issue is here, they still have to invest their time. Right? Photographers need to take photos. Lawyers need to close cases. Masseuses need to rub shoulders. Doctors need to, heal patients, whatever it may be, right? They have to invest time. So what happens when something like this happens? Oh, lawyers, they can't go to the courtroom. Oh, masseuses, they aren't getting customers. The businesses are shut down. Oh, photographers, you can't go outside, right? You're in a position where your income is still linear. Guys, 95% of people live on the left side of the quadrant. 60% are employees, 35% of people are self-employed. Those 95% of people fight for 5% of the world's wealth, right? This is why you hear the 95 and the 5 or a lot of the time it's the 97% and the 3% or the 1% and the 99. You're always hearing people argue. You know why? It's because 95 people are fighting over $5. And on the right side of the quadrant, you have 5% of people fighting over 95% of the wealth, right? So people, it's not that there's this separation. It's some people began to realize that I just can't make money off my own efforts. So that's how the business owner got created, right? They understood systems. Systems stand for save yourself time, energy, and money. One more time, write this down. Save yourself time, energy, and money. Business owners leverage. They leverage. The owner of McDonald's is not cooking your burger. The owner of Starbucks is not pouring your coffee. The owner of Nike is not fitting your shoes, right? They have people working with them. I give this example all the time. I was a self-employed soccer coach. I used to coach soccer when I was in college. It was amazing. I would get paid $60 to $100 an hour doing private courses and private trainings with people. I absolutely loved it, especially being a college student, right? But the business owner, the guy that owned the camps, he was the one making all the money, right? Because if I ran my own camp, I was only allowed to coach so many kids legally. I can only watch so many kids legally in that district or in that city. But what a business owner does is he says, cool, if I can only watch 15 kids, but I can go hire 10 other coaches, I can have 165, 150 plus my 15 at the camp. I can give the coaches an hourly wage, charge the parents X amount of money to get there, and he's taking a percent from every single person. The business owner has people work with him in order to make money. Now, the investor is why you're here. The investor is the 1% quadrant. This is where you see governments, elites. This is where you see people who, typically I believe the 1% number in the United States is 350K or more. It's coming through investments, right? It's coming through investments. This is the quadrant where money works for you. Mike and I created a platform, or I guess a kind of a movement called 365 No 9 to 5, right? If $4,000 a month would change your life, right? Drop a 7 in the chat. Because what we've been able to do is take $200 at 6% growth a week, at $40 compounded per week, and at the end of 52 weeks, I think 53, whatever it is, it's like $18.3 thousand. That means you're averaging anywhere between $850 to $1,200 a week. Now, we're not doing that for you, but we're actually showing you how to get that done. Imagine you're laying in bed, you get a notification on your phone, right? And you have $200 in your account, and you get a trade on the dollar against the yen, and it moves 10%, right? You make $20. Yeah, it's not gonna freaking buy you a yacht, but have you ever made $20 off your phone before while sleeping? If not, do that consistently and see what happens to your income. See what happens to your life. Guys, at the end of the day, and I hope that cash flow quadrant training was super powerful for you. At the end of the day, not everyone wants to be an investor. Not everyone wants to look at the charts all day. Not everyone grew up in 6th grade when your teacher asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? You said, I can't wait to buy Bitcoin. No, most of you, I'm assuming 99.9% of you didn't say that. But what this can do is become that vehicle that will actually allow you to pursue what you're passionate about, will actually give you the supplemental income. Guys, I'm not passionate about day trading. I'm passionate about ministry work. I love humanitarian work. I love traveling. I love helping people. But doing people's taxes 6 days a week, doing audits where everyone freaking hates you, calling all of our clients that we manage money for at the firm, right? That's not going to let me do that. Yeah, it's going to give me income, but how am I going to help anyone else, right? I looked at day trading not only to give myself time freedom, but to bring myself fulfillment. I have a very good friend of mine named Kyle. He's a special education teacher. He loves his career. He loves his job, but he says, I'm not making enough to live the lifestyle that I want. I need something to supplement my income. He went all in on learning how to do this, and he has now supplemented his income. He's not worried about his mortgage. He's not worried when he takes his family to Mexico for vacation. He's not worried about the bills. He's not worried about anything anymore because he invested into himself to learn this. And so how do you do the exact same thing? And you have to make that decision. Guys, awareness creates decisions. Decisions create results. And tonight or today, whenever you're watching this, is your decision-making moment, right? I partnered with a company in 2016, like I said, called I Am Mastery Academy. It started in 2013. And listen how crazy and how fast this company is growing. In 2016, there was less than 1,000 people in this organization. We only had 30 hours a month of mentorship, only 4 educators, and we were only educating in English. We ended the year with $1 million in revenue. The company, right? Not me, the company. In 2019, we grew to over 100 countries, over 120,000 different individual customers. We now have over, I believe, 8 educational languages, over 100 different educators, over 1,100 hours a month of live mentorship, and we closed out at $250 million, which is $250 million. We did that in 3 years. Why? Because no matter where you're at in the world, everyone's looking for one of 2 things: more time or more money. And when you can learn a skill set that will give you the income that you desire and the time that you need to pursue what makes you happy, that's powerful. So what I'm going to show you guys is a couple things. I'm going to give you our blueprint. I'm not going to show you our copy and paste apps. I'm not going to show you our algorithms. I'm not going to show you all the tools that we have. Why? Because like I said, I'm not here to entice you. Can you make money in your first month? Yes, of course you can. But do you want to make money your first month, or do you want to make money forever? Right? The most enticing thing that you can take from this is that you can learn a skill set, where you can become completely self-sufficient, and you don't need Mike and I. You don't need the person that invited you to this call. You can do it by yourself. To me, that is the sexiest thing that I can ever hear. Because if I can do it by myself, it's on me to become successful. It's on me to take care of my family. No one can put a price tag on me, right? So what I want to show you guys is our education, our mentorship, and then have Mike jump in here to close this out and really just give us some value. And I'm going to go ahead and click on academies. Obviously, we have strategies and all these other different things on here, but I'm going to make this nice and simple. Our education is online, right? It's like taking an online class, and it works just like a university, level 100, 200, 300, 400. It's 30 hours long. Now, in my organization, we only have you go through the first 5 hours, which is level 1 and level 2. What these courses are going to do is it's just going to teach you the basics. What is Forex? Who's participating? What's the difference between buying and selling? The difference between pending orders and market executions. I mean, my favorite video on here that I think is the funniest is entering a trade off an Android or entering a trade off an iPhone. The first 5 hours is just to give you enough knowledge to be able to have conversations about the market, to be able to understand what people are talking about the market. It's not meant to make you a pro. It's not meant to make you money. It's meant to give you the information you need to move forward. Now, why do we skip past the other 25 hours? The reason why we did that is because we found a way to simplify the learning process. We took all the information that you can learn on there and put it into 3 phases and 9 hours long. Each phase is 3 hours long. And the coolest thing about working with the Tradehouse course, the Tradehouse group in Quantum Creations, is the fact that we trade institutionally. The top 10 traders in the world are banks. JP Morgan Chase, $550 billion a day. Bank of America, I think, is a little bit over $400 billion a day. Citibank, $450 billion a day. Deutsche Bank's like $480 billion a day. The top 10 traders in the world are banks. You cannot beat the banks. You cannot, put some fancy indicators on your chart, put some fancy strategies and things on your chart. No, that means you don't understand the language. Here's the best example I can give every single one of you. If I opened up a book, let's say I have a book here, right? I have this book and it's in French. I wouldn't understand it. I only know English, right? So what would I have to do? I would have to go to Google Translate. I have to take the little camera. I would have to scan the book. And would it translate it? Yeah. Would every phrase be the same? Would every word be the same? No, but maybe I'd get the gist, right? That's the issue. Most traders just get the gist, and that's why they fail. They come and they look at the chart and they're like, oh yeah, this looks cool. Let me draw some RSI on here, put some moving averages. Let me add some volume candles on here. It makes it easier, right? It's going to help me understand the market. No, you don't understand the market. That's why you lose. That's why over 90% of traders lose, is because they think doing something, a little special to their chart and so they can post it on Instagram is going to make them profitable. That's not how this works. But the moment that you can understand the market, the moment that you can see what happens after accumulation, what is institutional candles, what truly is liquidity, when do I get in, what is the psychology of the market itself, if you can understand that, you can read the market. And if you can read the market from left to right, guess what? You can make money. And so we take 5 hours for our basics, 9 hours for our advanced education or our institutional trading education. It's 14 hours long. You do an hour a day. Guess what? You're going to have it done in 2 weeks. Most people that partner with us get it done in the first week, right? The basics they do in a day. These videos, they do a couple of videos a day to kind of retain that information and not rush it, but they get it done in a week. And this is why. The mentorship. The mentorship is everything. If you are learning from people who have what you want, and it's not always money, it can be knowledge, right? It can be knowledge. You can get the results that they have. You learn from Mike every single day. What's going to happen? You're going to get the results that he has if you are consistent. That's the key thing here. Now look at this, right? We have 1,100 hours a month of education. Our organization specifically has 7 educators that we push to our team every single day, over 40 hours a week of institutional trading education. But it doesn't matter how good Mike is as an educator. It doesn't matter how good Jordan Morgan, Mike Miles, Zachary Hogan, Rock Sandy, it doesn't matter how good any of them, Zach McDonald, any of them are as educators. If you don't understand the language they're speaking, you're not going to be able to receive anything. That's why the education is important. That's why you have to go through the basics. That's why you have to go through the Tradehouse course. So now when you hop on our live mentorship that works literally just like Netflix, just like Hulu, just like Twitch TV, just like Disney Plus, just like any live streaming application, you can begin to start learning and earning. And this is amazing because there's education on Forex, high frequency, which is binaries, digital currencies, e-commerce. I mean, even our tools, right? I didn't tell you I was going to show you the copy and paste tools and all that, but look, right? We have mentorship on our copy and paste app for commodities and indices, copy and paste app for cryptocurrencies, bounce back. One of my favorite tools that our organization uses, helps people with institutional trading. We go on 3 hours a week. I hop on every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Boom. You're going to be able to enter into the market and live trade with a steady, a phenomenal position trading tool. Pivots helps a lot when it comes to the stock market. Vibrata helps a lot when it comes to scalping the cryptocurrency market. There's all these different tools that you can take advantage of. And the best part about this is there's always education. There's always mentorship aligned with it, right? That's what's important here. It's not if it's easy, but if it can work for you. And so I'm going to go ahead and go to Mike's channel, and I'll be finishing up here shortly. I know I've been going for quite some time now, but I really just want to provide as much value as I can so you can really see how powerful this opportunity is in front of you. Now, Mike isn't live, right? No one's actually live right now because it's like Saturday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But, right, Mike has 3 objectives here, right? Mike has 3 things that he needs to do while he's on the session. Number 1, he needs to showcase what his trading style is. Number 2, he needs to actually show you how it applies to the live moving market. And number 3, if he's live trading, he's going to be giving you trade ideas, opportunities for you to enter into the market with him. Now, you can say, Tim, well, he trades the New York session. I have a day job. That's okay, right? We have educators for the Asian session. We have educators for the London sessions. We have educators going on pretty much every single hour of the day that you can take advantage of, right? But I want to be able to live chat with Mike. That's okay, right? It's better for you to go to the recordings, right? Go to his past sessions. 2 days ago, he went online and talked about US 30, right? He talked about his trading style. How do you actually move the market while the market's moving? How do you get into the market? What do you need to look for in the market? If you can go back and rewatch these recordings and then go do it yourself, you're not going to be worried about that job anymore. You're going to be able to hop on those live sessions with him, right? So to me, this is such a powerful blueprint because all you need to do is this simple thing. Keep it simple, guys. I played college soccer, right? So I say soccer is a very simple game. You put the ball in the back of the net. Whoever does that more wins. Who makes it difficult? The 22 players on the field. It's the same thing with trading. It's the same thing with business. Follow the blueprint, follow the steps, and you'll get the results that you want. You may not want to be a 7-figure trader. Cool, what do you want? Let's set up that blueprint for you. 5 hours of basic education, 9 hours of institutional training, go live. 14 hours of education, go live. If you can plug into that, you are going to see success. I mean, every single day. And I'm making I'm going to put a disclaimer on this because this is just what's happening for us. I'm just telling you what's happening for us. Every single day I see people quit their jobs. I see people have their first 3, 4, or 5-figure days. We see people getting very close to 6-figure accounts, right? We're seeing amazing things happen every single day. But if you don't put yourself into a position to see it yourself, what are you going to do, right? So guys, before I give it back to Mike, just let me really reiterate who is speaking to you and who is really breaking this down and who is really educating you, because it comes down to who do you listen to, right? Who are you listening to right now? Because who you're listening to right now has gone to currently the results that you have right now. What I do is I listen to Mike. I listen to my mentors. My mentors are 4 of them are the top 10 earners in the world in this industry. Why do I listen to them? Not because they make the money, because who they became in order to earn that type of income, right? Because now they get to donate the way they want to. They get to help people the way they want to. They can open businesses the way they want to. They can help their family travel the world the way they want to. And that's what I find attractive. And Mike is that individual that you guys can plug into, take advantage of in a good way, right? And use him as a resource to further your knowledge, to grow your bank account, to grow your, your businesses, to grow your trading account, whatever it may be. So really, please, 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 please keep the open mind and understand that there is opportunity out there and there is people there who are going to help and guide you through it. So with that being said, Mike, I'm going to mute my my mic right here and let you finish off and take over for us.
Wow, Tim, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you just sharing everything, all of your knowledge and just, I guess, explain really everything that we do here. And I don't want this to be taken lightly. I really think this is something that when you really know how to leverage and you understand the severity of where we're at right now, this is something that's maybe arguably one of the most powerful resources that you can have. And so what I want to do now is I really want to break down that's just how hands-on we really are, right? Because for us, it's so important that in your journey, you understand that this isn't just, okay, cool, watch the videos, good luck. It's, okay, how can we help you really get to where you want to go, right? How can you really go beyond, and it's a place where you should be comfortable. I think the essence of this is just like empowerment, growth mindset, really just build the life that you want to build. But in order to get there, build the right habits, build the right mindset, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So what I'm going to do now, right, guys, is I'm going to show you kind of the mastermind group, the community that we've developed so that you can really take advantage. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen one more time, and I'll kind of leave you guys with this. Okay. So what you're going to be seeing here is what we call Discord. This is an app, and what we did is we transformed this app and turned it into something where everybody here has the same kind of mindset, is growing, right, your capital, your trading account, multiplying it, and then just growing this awesome network of people who are looking to do the same thing, right? And so anytime, the educators, right, these 5 to 8 figure earners who are just explaining to you how this all works, they go live, so you should never miss a session ever. Every single time we're going to drop it right here and let you know, right? And when the best of the best are sharing what they see in the market, you're going to have everything here as well. So people are telling you and showing you exactly what they did to get into the trade. This way you can kind of see, okay, this is what a good chart looks like. This is what we know how to look for, and how to really guide and manage your trades. So this right here is only specifically catered for the people who have had consistent success. And now you can just look at it and say, okay, this is what I should be doing. But of course, you're going to have questions. So the trading chat is where now you have, okay, this is what I see and this is what I understand. Does this make sense, right? Guys, I'm brand new. Can someone help me? I don't know how to place my stop loss, right? And so from day 1 to day 10,000, veterans and novices are in here just kind of working together. And the cool thing is we have that pay it forward mindset, that pay it forward mentality where, I know what it's like to get started and not know anything, not coming from this sort of, trading industry. So this is just a really cool place where you can, ask for help and I guess kind of share your process and your growth here. So guys, please take advantage of this. Anything you need, right there's not just myself, not just Tim, not just the person that invited you here, but just a mass community of people with the same objective, which is growing your trading account. And in order to do that, you got to grow from the inside, right? So with that being said, Tim walked you through the different kind of income sources or the kind of categories that people are creating income and time for themselves. Tim walked you through the academy where you get the foundation, the recorded videos. But remember, knowledge isn't power, right? Applied knowledge is. So then you have the go live, which is the live streaming, live trading that come with the recordings and walk you through how to get into the trade from A to Z, right? And the mastermind group. So with all that being said, right, this is pretty much like an online school, kind of like an online course. You don't have to get 4 or 5 loans to get started, right? Getting started is $235 the first month and then $175 going forward. So the awesome part is that you also have a scholarship program. Okay, so I'm gonna break down how that works for you guys because this is something that helped me a lot as I started trading. And so I knew I was gonna be investing in my education. And so when I really started diving in and I started to understand what I really had, I was actually enjoying the process. I was enjoying the community. I was enjoying seeing my demo account grow and then my real account grow. Once I really felt that, I was like, all right, awesome. And I started to share with a couple of people. And this worked kind of how Netflix did it. So Netflix in 2011, what they did was they introduced what's called a 2 and free program. And what's cool about that is this, that when they did that, when they did that, if you had Netflix and someone else wanted it too, right, and you introduced this to two people, then you had it for free. So that's what they did here. Like, all right, well, if that worked for Netflix, and Netflix is huge now, then they did the same thing. So now, if you're learning and you enjoy it, and there's people that are just want to learn how to trade themselves now, and they get started through you, and you actually have it for free, right? And you stay having it for free. Awesome, right? So from there, what happens is maybe there's a third person that's like, hey, hey, Leslie, I see that you're trading, and I've always been into that. How does it work? Right. And then say they get started. Now the company actually starts paying you $150 a month, and it's split out, week by week, which is awesome. Right. So from there, it just kind of keeps evolving. So as you start to create a culture of trading, or a culture of just growth, and let's say, so maybe you got a couple people started and they got a couple people started, all of a sudden there's 12, right? What's cool is this, right? If you have a team of 12, now the company's paying you $600 a month, right? That's a $7,200 bonus in a year. And that's in a month, right? This is something that's available to you. And so the important thing is this, right? If you are going to build a community of traders, remember you have the support of myself, Tim, whoever invited you, and even more. But also we're here to help make sure everyone's growing, everyone's hopping on the charts, everyone's tuning in, everyone's mind is growing, their habits are developing. So, what we want to do is make sure that you guys are winning. And so that just keeps evolving. So remember, if the company is paying you $600 a month, I recommend, this is my suggestion, put some of that into your trading account, right? That way your trading account is growing a bit faster. Use the rest of it for whatever you want to use it for. And the cool thing is that second income source can also keep evolving. So not only are you going to be, plugging into the trading, growing your account, but then as you grow your team, so does your residual income grow, right? So if you have a team of 30, now you have $1,000 a month coming in, 75, $2,000 a month coming in, 500, $10,000 a month coming in, up until $500,000 a month with a massive team, right? So the important thing, right, is let's focus on plugging in to the lessons, right? Watch the live sessions, ask questions, right? When you're sharing this, allow us to help you too, right? We want to share the right information with the right intentions. So with that being said, guys, here's something that you can take advantage of. Honestly, right? Learn how to multiply your own money. And you know what? Use the company's money, right, to multiply your money too. So guys, I appreciate your time. You guys have been fantastic. I hope this has opened and expanded maybe some ways of thinking a little bit. And any other questions that you have, please make sure, right, to reach out to whoever invited you to this call. We'll make a group, and between all of us, we'll be able to, answer any loose ends that might be out there, guys. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Have an amazing rest of your day. Stay healthy, stay abundant, and we'll see you guys later. Thank you.